Good afternoon, everybody. This is Christy. I am the Intimate Warrior. I thank you so much for stopping by, and as always, I send you love. Give me a second here. I forgot to turn on my Do Not Disturb. So, in today's video, I want to begin with kind of continuing with what I mentioned in my yesterday's video about the implants. And I am going to begin by saying, remove fear. Get into your heart. There is nothing to fear. This video is for information, to get you thinking, and to get you thinking in a positive way. And in this video, I'm going to incorporate, because of where we currently are, many of us are really upgrading. The implants that I'm going to be talking about today are going to be in relationship to the crown. We have a lot of implants that are placed within us, energetic implants. And again, like I said in yesterday's video, they are embedded within us when we come into this 3D reality, the third dimensional realm of form. Many of these implants reside on the left side of the body. If you have been having lots of breakouts, sores, sharp pains, quite possibly, this could be an indication of where an implant is or where one is being removed. In relationship to the crown, we have the third eye chakra, the pituitary, as well as the pineal, that have implants within them as a form of suppression. Also, the alta major is a gateway that has been sealed off as well. And this, of course, is associated with the crown. The bindu chakra is also one of these centers. All of this works with the crown. The crown doesn't come online, doesn't begin activating, where you have full access to it until the very end of your journey. It's one of the last centers. Of course, I'm not done with this process, so what else there is, I don't know about. I like to go with the flow. I don't look ahead any longer like I used to in the very beginning, trying to discover things. I find information pertaining to what I am receiving, and I learn about it as best as I can. If I am not receiving information personally, I will do some research, and then I kind of will stop, because the research that I get can be kind of misinformation, as well as become distorted because you're taking in way too much information. Information that is read is great, believe me. But then what are you going to do with that information if you don't know what it means or what to do with it? So I'd like to let things just kind of flow, and I ask my guidance to give me understanding, and they always seem to do that. And I'm talking about today in this crown because of where I currently am and what was being given. Just like the cross, and I think I may have mentioned this in yesterday's video. If I have, I apologize, but please bear with me. The cross can be a good symbol or a bad symbol. To those who have been suppressed personally, will see the cross as a way of, I am not going to be religious. I am not going to belong to an organization that I think is trying to suppress me. Your internal guidance system is already telling you there's something wrong here. You don't know what it is. You haven't discovered anything because you haven't gotten deep within yourself to know who you are. I have been an individual that anytime someone mentioned Jesus, God, church, I pretty much wanted to run. I felt as if they were trying to control me. And that's exactly what it is doing. This is not to knock down religion or anything of the sorts. This is to give you information. So hopefully you begin to learn why you feel a certain way. This journey is all about knowing yourself and allowing implants, allowing lower vibrational emotions to move away from you, to finally embody love and to reach higher states of consciousness. Christ consciousness in Jesus Christ is a form of light. Our bodies hold light within us in the form of crystals. We are made up of mostly water, and when these crystals are finally holding on to light within, it reflects because of the water. And of course, the crystal itself is like a diamond. So water and a diamond reflecting the rainbow. During the equinox, this is my experience, I was having a difficult time. That night, I was kind of fighting myself again. I woke up very anxious about something so silly, really. And I knew better, but I couldn't shake it loose. It woke me up and I got anxious and I kept thinking things. And so I was having an internal dialogue, the mind and the heart. The mind was trying to make me become anxious. And my heart was saying, stop it, get back into the heart. You are love. This is just the illusion. I was trying to talk my way into higher states of consciousness to live within the heart. And it was kind of difficult for a while. And I had to breathe through it. And I had to really, really focus on getting back into the heart. Being conscious, being love, using faith takes effort. Those who use their own will, their self-control, are those who are going to reach higher states of consciousness, are those who are going to allow the sacred seed, the solar seed, to rise above the heart and into the crown. The crown does not become activated until the pituitary, the pineal gland, and both sides of the brain, left and right, are synced up together in unity. Again, the higher mind, the sacred marriage within of both masculine and feminine energies, of the above and the below, become unified. Christ and many other prophets have been seen with this halo around the crown. And I totally forgot to mention this. As I was having difficulty that night, it finally got my way back into my heart. I You know, the thing about me, even though I was awake, my body was still resting. I was still fighting myself. I was still being conscious. And that's what takes place, for those of you who don't understand, when I am actually receiving. And I'm very grateful that I have this type of ability. And it's taken effort to get here. Conscious effort to get here. My body is sleeping, not moving, resting, healing itself. My eyes are shut. It's at rest. But my consciousness is awake and receiving fully. So it's as if my eyes are shut, but they're open internally. My internal eyes, because it seems like I'm looking through my own vision. Full view, and I am receiving. I ended up receiving right after I kind of was having this fight with myself. This rock was being removed. This boulder was being taken down, unfolded, so I could peer through this doorway here. This hidden doorway. And it was all black. I saw this dark figure in that cloak. Reminded me of the Grim Reaper again. And he was on a boat. Little canoe kind of, standing and rowing. He was going from left to right. I have made it over this doorway. This is called the abyss. And this was a part of going through 0 point energy. You don't get through, and this is of course associated with the spring equinox where everything was aligned at 0 and 0. You have 2 doorways, or you have a doorway to go through, where when you do get through it, you gain access. Or you can stay at that level until you can conquer your internal battles. The abyss is also known as the dark night of the soul. If you can't get out of your own head, if you are still fighting yourself, if you're living within the ego, if you're living within fear, anger, and all those lower vibrational emotions, you're probably lingering within the abyss. You're having a difficult time. It takes effort to step into love. And oftentimes I hear people saying, oh, I am doing this. I am trying to be love. I'm stepping back into love. How many times do you fall back down? How many times are you being ugly? How many times are you making the wrong choices in your life? How many times are you lashing out? How many times are you doing anything that's going against your own soul? And I'm not talking about those moments when we are really purifying ourselves, when we're going through something we are being triggered. You can be triggered and still be conscious of what you're doing. I have also been triggered this past week. I've been going through a lot this past week, not just at a emotional, on a physical level, a spiritual level, but even on a physical level here in my existence. My earthly existence is changing this past week. Everything has happened so quickly. And I've had some triggered moments. I'm tired. I'm cranky. I'm being upgraded. Something is happening. And I lash out. When we aren't aware of what we are doing, we're not being mindful, we're not being aware, we're not being conscious of our own choices. Therefore, it's kind of like staying within the abyss, staying within the ego. When we are aware, oh gosh, look at what I just did. I'm I'm being ugly, I'm being mean, and this is not me. I know something's happening, and here I am. I'm taking it out on somebody. I like to go over and above and apologize. Sometimes I don't at that very moment, but sometimes I come back and say, you know what? I'm going through some things. Please don't take it personally. And I'm getting ready to cry. My ego used to keep me in the form of not apologizing. I used to be so prideful that admitting that I was wrong was wrong. That's the ego. The heart and the soul always wants you to learn to let go. I'm sorry I did this. Even if that person's yelling at you, I'm so sorry I did this. I'm going through this thing. I have a battle within me. And I am sorry. So Christ and many other prophets have been seen with this halo around the crown. As I have been trying to figure out where I am, I ask. The top portion of the tree of life is that top triangle, the Holy Trinity, and I've spoken about it in a couple of videos in the recent upgrades here, the past week, if you will, in relationship to the Vesica Piscis, and the Holy Trinity and the sacred marriage. And so this is associated with the crown, receiving more light, of course. Those who have, of course, gotten to this point is because they have, of course, allowed the solar seed to rise above the heart. It's easy when to allow the sacred seed, the solar seed, to get into the solar plexus, because it doesn't take any effort. It naturally goes there. In order for the solar seed to make it above the heart and into the crown, it takes effort. It takes not allowing the ego to burden you, getting back into the heart. This doesn't mean you're not making a mistake. That's not what I'm saying. It means being conscious. Hey, I didn't listen to my heart. I'm going to do better next time. Kind of mentality. So I ended up, again last night, as I was asking for more help. I saw the Aurora radiata. And this is, when you look at an image of the Aurora radiata, it looks like the human ovum. If you look at the ovum, inside of it is the nucleus. Outside of it looks like all of these arms, appendages, squiggly things, rays of light. Rays of light. This is also what it looks like when the moon transits the sun, forming an eclipse. Rays of light behind. Bear with me as I open pages. The Latin term, or the Latin meaning of corona radiata, means radiant crown. This takes place when, and it's towards the end of your phases, of everything lining up, pineal, pituitary, hypothalamus, all of that good stuff within the mind, both left and right, are finally receiving the fluid. This refers to the pair of white matter tracks seen at the level of the lateral ventricles. And when you look at it, it looks like it's emitting rays inside of the brain. These kind of like squiggly lines, not squiggly, but or lines that are emitting within the brain. And it ends up transferring fluid everywhere. Vital fluid that emits rays of light outside of your crown. And of course goes down into your physical form. Now if we go back to having implants, the crown of thorns is one of them that prevents our crown from emitting the full rays of light. You know, have you ever seen The Passion of the Christ? I remember watching that movie and just being in tears from beginning to end at witnessing what they did to Jesus Christ in placing that crown of thorns upon his head, ripping up his skin there. You know, it was when they put again that crown on top of Christ's head and it ripped his skin. It hurt. It hurt. And it made him bleed. It was meant as a form of punishment, great punishment. It was a form of punishment that was meant to suppress his soul, his abilities, and put him into submission. By having conscious awareness and stepping into love every single month, you remove the crown of thorns. And in time, you replace it with a golden crown. Or, actually, it is a crown, although it has been depicted in many images with being gold. I think some might have the colors of the rainbow. It is, in fact, it will, in fact, emit the colors of the rainbow. Now, I want to go back to how I end up seeing this. When it's meant for me to understand a certain aspect, a lot of the visions that I receive are going to be zoomed in. Like when I ended up seeing the corona, corona radiata, had to make sure I was pronouncing it correctly. It was actually zoomed in at the ray part of it. It was an ovum, what I was seeing. I guess I didn't specify that. And how the ovum, when you zoom in on the ovum, it has those fibers attached to it. But my mind knew instantly what it was. So I was seeing the image, zoomed in on the area of my focus, what it was supposed to be about, as well as receiving the phrases, the word. So that's how sometimes it comes in, where I see the image, I receive words, and sometimes I receive just words. Sometimes I do just receive images, and then I have to put the pieces of the puzzle together. But for this time, it was the zoomed in image of the ovum towards the fiber area. And the purpose of the of the fibers of the corona radiata, or which is the corona radiata, is to transfer information throughout the brain. Now, when the crown of thorns is removed, of course, now you have that type of suppression has also been removed. The real crown of lights, again, is going to be placed upon you. And this is connected when this structure of light is built. It opens up the 7 different layers of the rays of that rainbow, which will connect you to the higher heavens, the next levels of heavens, where just like the silver cord, light is going to speak to light. It is your continuous connection. And it also, of course, is going to connect you to the earth. Now, in terms of this crown, it is often also been called the irradiate crown, or the solar crown, the sun crown. And now, if you're starting to think about this, how it's connecting, as above, so below. The sun emits the rays. The sun emits rays. We have in the female organ, the ovum is the same aspect as the sun. Yet, and so is our crown, has the same capability of emitting these rays within. But of course, so does our heart. But these fibers within our brain are just like the energetic fibers of the sun. And of course, in history, people have been seen with these type of headgears that do signify having the crown, the sun crown. So, I did this video today for this purpose of, sharing how these implants, or how ideas that are within all things within our lives, whether it is in religion, whether it's in politics, or just everyday life, can be a way of suppression or a way of liberation. And there's only one thing that's going to set you free: love. Continued love. And to truly love yourself selflessly, as well as others selflessly, takes conscious effort to do so. I hope this video has been easy to understand, makes sense. I would love to know your input. Please let me know your thoughts, what your current experiences are. If you have been having an experience, and I know someone posted, I know who you are. I know you posted on my video about your experience with the crown here lately, and after your comment, I definitely was anxious or excited to make this video. I believe we've had several things sync up together where I would do a video and you would talk about your experience, or you're talking about your experience and I am planning to schedule a video. Things line up. Remember a part of our upgrades here, no matter where we are in our journey, that when things seem to fall apart again, and I know I said this earlier in this video, when it seems like it's falling apart, it's really coming together. And you have to get back into your heart to see, how is this going to make my life better by these changes? What is really taking place? Old energy, negative energy, stagnant energy cannot go with you. Whether it is people, objects, animals, whatever it is. When you grow, certain aspects of your life will fall away from you. Not as a form of punishment, not to keep you suppressed, but it's because you no longer need those things. If you are living in the mind and not your heart, you're going to miss out that something great is right around the corner. This is Christy. Much love, health, and healing your way. I am bringing purpose to your life. Take care.